So I got this message from a buddy of mine the other day. It's actually been about 2 weeks ago. He asked me, "How do I stay positive, motivated, and avoid burnout?" I initially responded with a really long typed out paragraph, a lot of message. I'll post it on the side. You can take a look at it. And after I posted that up, I thought about it some more, and I realized it's so much more than what my initial response was. Which my initial response, it's not entirely incorrect, but it's incomplete. So I wanted to make a video to address it more deeply, both for him and also for you guys as well, because I know that just people out there in general, if you're stumbling onto this video, you're probably dealing with some level of burnout yourself, and you're wondering how you deal with it. And if you're like most people, you're asking, how do you avoid burnout? I've dealt with burnout a lot in my entire life, and here's the reality: burnout's gonna affect us all differently. We're all different people. There are some people who are gonna get hit by burnout way more than other people are, just based on their personality type, just based on like the way they approach the world, the way their philosophy towards life. Um, and if you're one of those people, I mean, I'm one of those people. I've hit some really bad burnouts in my life, especially when I was doing sales. It hit me hard. It wasn't just sales though. Like in life, multiple times I've experienced some serious burnout where someone had to send police officers to my house, to my apartment, to make sure I was alive. I was actually sent to the psych ward for suicide watch. That's how hard the burnout hit me. So, but nowadays I still get burned out, but it doesn't hit me nearly as hard. So to answer the question, to my friend, how do you stay positive, motivated, and avoid burnout? The answer is I don't. The initial response I gave him made it seem like I don't get burnout, and I want it to be very, very clear. I still get burnout. Most people get burned out, and the thing is, a lot of people don't even realize that they're burned out. The difference is how it hits some people and how it hits others. And before I even get into that, there's a lot of people who get burned out and they hide it. Like they don't tell you, "Hey, I'm feeling burned out." They just go, "Hey man, how you doing? It's another day of the week, another day in paradise. I'm working. You like your job? Yeah, man, it pays the bills. Like those are if that's your response, you're experiencing some level of burnout. Burnout is when you just run out of an ability to keep moving forward, so you stay stagnant. If you've been stagnant, for the last few days, weeks, months, years, those are signs that you're burned out because you're not progressing. If you're stagnant, if you're exactly where you've been for like the last 3-4 years of your life, that's a form of burnout. Now, if you're there because you don't want not now if you're like old and retired and you don't want to and you're done with life, that's one thing. But if you're like in your like 20s and 30s and you're still got like the rest of your life to move forward and hustle and keep growing as a human being, and you're not, you're burning out. I just want to be very, very clear about that. All right. Now as far as like how do I stay positive, motivated? My initial response to him was that I practice active recovery, and this is very important. I want to add more to this later on, but I want to adjust this. If you're gonna get anything out of this video, it has to be these two things. All right, and I'm gonna go into detail on these. The first one is part of my response to him. I practice active recovery in my life. And the second thing is, which is probably even more important than that, is I don't live a life that I need a break from. So those two things, if you don't watch any part of the rest of this video, those are the two things that keep me from burning out in a way that it becomes detrimental to me. I don't burn out the same way that I used to. So I'm going to talk about the life that I live right now. It's really important, before we go any further, to just be very, very, very clear about this. What I'm going to talk about in this video, the way I do it isn't for everybody, but the principle is still there. The principle of live a life that you don't need a break from. Now, the life that I built is one that I've built over the last several years, and it's taken a lot of effort. I surround myself with very good people, the type who build me up. They're not the types to tear me down. And more importantly, they're also the type to hold me accountable. If I'm feeling too good, they let me know, hey man, like this, it's good that you're feeling good, but there's still work you gotta do. There's still levels that you need to hit. You're not moving forward. You need to move forward. Like my coaches at the gym, with my friends at the gym, I show them a video of me doing something cool, and they say, "It looks good and all, but your footwork was bad. If your opponent was better, he could have landed this kick on you. He could have landed this punch on you. You didn't do this roll correctly. Your frame was really bad. If you're gonna progress to the next level, you need to get better frames. So even if I'm feeling good, they're not gonna massage my ego. They don't, and I don't want them to massage my ego. I'll massage my own ego for me. I don't need them to do that. What I need from them is to let me know, hey, you need to do better. It's good that you're feeling good, but don't get stuck here. And even at work, when I'm talking with like my business partners and I'm showing them the cool things that I do, hey, I think this would be good for the business. I have some ideas. They let me know if I come up with a very dumb idea, and I have a lot of those. They let me know that's an awful idea. That idea is gonna lose this company a lot of money, a lot of business, and a lot of productivity. We're gonna, this is gonna be bad for our clients. This is a horrible idea. They let me know that, and they don't hold back, and I don't want them to hold back. The people I surround myself with in life, at business and work, and when I'm out with friends, they're not the ones who to tear me down. They're the type to build me back up and hold me accountable and make sure that I keep striving, I keep doing better. And surrounding yourself with the right people is extremely, extremely important. And then and on top of that is I fill my life with activities that fill me up as well. As most of you know, I do Muay Thai and I do Jiu-Jitsu. I also do boxing occasionally. I also do wrestling occasionally. But martial arts is something that gives me a lot of life and a lot of love, and it keeps me in shape, and it puts me around very good people. And I'm very, very careful about my inner circle. If there's someone around me that I sense is a snake, someone that I don't trust, I don't let them near me. The key here isn't not letting them near me. The key here is being able to spot the snakes. I'm very cautious about meeting new people. I'm nice to them. I'll have conversations with them. I'll talk with them. But I'm not going to let them get too close to me unless I know that I can trust them. Because I know there's a lot of bad people out there. There's a lot of great people out there too. But there's also a lot of bad ones that masquerade as great people until you find out, hey, this person's a little bit shifty and I probably shouldn't trust this person a lot. You have to trust that snakes are going to be snakes. If someone lies to you, if someone is distrustful to you, or if someone lies to someone, they lie to, and if someone lies to somebody else and they're mistrustful of somebody else and they're shifty about the way they talk to other people, they're probably going to be shifty to you. They're probably going to be awful to you as well. They're probably going to lie to you as well. Snakes are going to be snakes, and you have to trust them to be snakes. And what do you do? And like, if you see a rattlesnake out there in your garden, are you going to reach out to your hand and are you going to pet it? No, it's going to bite you. So you have to recognize the people in your life that are snakes, and you have to trust that they're not going to be good for you. And that takes a little bit of time to figure out like who the good ones are and who the bad ones are. But once you figure it out, like, and you go, yeah, this person is not someone I should trust, you don't let them get close to you. Like say hi, how you doing? You don't have to you don't have to be animist towards them. Just don't, just don't spend time with them outside of what you have to do. So the life that I live is not one that I need a break from, because I fill it with good people, and also like I do work that I absolutely love. I'm a systems builder. I build systems. I built Excel spreadsheets. I built computer programs. I work with amazing people, and together we build amazing things. A lot of you are out there working jobs that you shouldn't be working, and the reason you're being burned out from your job is for one of two reasons. It's either not the right job for you. You shouldn't be working your job, or you're not at the right company. You might, and the way to figure that out is, do you actually enjoy what you're doing? If you don't enjoy what you're doing, do something else. Find another job. Find another career. There's a school for everything. You want to be a nurse? Go to school to be a nurse. You want to be a doctor? Go to school to be a doctor. Computer programmer, lawyer. You want to be a welder? You want to be a mechanic? There's a school for everything. Yes, that costs time and money, But you have to ask yourself this: is it worth it to go into debt and then find a new career that you like, and do something you like for the rest of your life? And you're gonna have debt up front, or is it better to just keep doing what you're doing right now, continuously get burned out, and hate yourself for the rest of your life because you're doing work that you absolutely hate? If you're living here in America, odds are you have options. There's a lot of things that you can do, especially if you're in a big city like Tampa, LA, San Francisco, DC, Chicago, Austin, New York, like Miami. Like your options are out there. There's a lot of different types of work that you can do. So if you don't like what you do, find a new skill. This is the age of the internet. You can learn so much online. I have so many friends who taught themselves how to become programmers just by watching YouTube videos, and then just by buying a few courses online. They pay like $2,000 for like a bunch of courses, and now they're making like 6 figures a year being high level programmers. Get a couple certifications. Amazon and Google have trainings for AWS and Google services. You can get your Google certificates. And if you like what you do, but you're still miserable at work, then you're working at the wrong place. The environment isn't right for you. Listen, not every job is meant for every person. Not every person can be a real estate agent. Not every single person can be a stock trader. Not every single person can be an entrepreneur. Not every person can be a programmer. Not every person can be a police officer, right? Everything is not for everybody. It's one of those things that people say a lot, like, yeah, man, insert profession here, insert hobby here. Like, actually, one of my favorite ones is this. This is a saying that says that jiu-jitsu is for everybody. It really isn't. There's a lot of people who don't like that close one-on-one contact of dealing with another sweaty person literally on top of you, trying to choke you out. You have to be a little bit crazy to do martial arts, because I look at it this way. I pay a lot of money every month so my friends can beat me up 6 days a week, 2 to 3 hours per day. I pay a lot of money for that. I'm kind of a psychopath, but I love it, and it's not for everybody. I've tried other sports, and I didn't like them. I mean, sports are fun. I'll play them, but I'm not going to dedicate 18 hours a week to playing soccer or basketball. For some people, they can do that. That's for them. It's not for me. No, martial arts is for me, and it's not for everybody. And the same applies to work, the lifestyle that you build. Being a mechanic isn't for everybody. Being a police officer isn't for everybody. You have to be very, very honest with yourself. If you're doing something for the money, you're doing it for the wrong reason, and you're gonna 100% burn out every single time. Every person that I know that has ever done something just for the money has failed every single time. But when you stop doing something because you're burned out, you have to admit, when you're a failure. And there's nothing wrong with that, because failure is a part of life. If you've never failed, you're not doing anything in life. You haven't done anything. You have to deal with your defeats. So the life I live is one that I don't need a break from. I love the work that I do. I love the people that I have around me. I love my friends. I love martial arts. I love dedicating 18 hours a week to martial arts. I absolutely love it. I love spending time with my friends. Nowadays when I burn out, it's just because I run out of energy. But even when I'm burned out, I'm still doing the same thing over and over again. In the past, when I used to burn out, I didn't want to do it anymore. I'm like, man, I just woke up like I don't want to do sales anymore. Like, fuck this. Like, I'm burned out. I feel like I lost my soul. Nowadays, when I'm burnt out, I'm just like, I just need a break. I just need to lie down. That way, tomorrow when I wake up, I have the energy to keep doing what I'm doing right now. I can keep building systems. I can go back to martial arts. I can go back to hanging out with friends. It's a different type of burnout that I get nowadays. So you have to understand, what kind of burnout are you getting? Are you getting one that's where you feel like, man, I don't want to do this anymore? Because if that's the case, you need to take a very close look at your life. And if that's not the case, and if you're just feeling a little burned out because you don't have the energy to progress, well, then you just need a little break. You just need to take some time off. You just need to do active recovery. Which brings me to the second thing. But what is active recovery? So for this one, I actually looked very closely at how professional athletes train, right? How is it that they're able to train for 5-6 hours a day, go to the gym, travel around the world, around the country, around all over the place, and actively, and still perform at ridiculously high levels? Some people hear that I spend 18 hours a week at the gym, and they're like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "I'm not." There's guys who spend 6 hours at the gym every day, and they're playing for the NBA. They're playing for the NFL. They're fighting in the UFC. They're fighting at one championship. High level professionals. I was wondered how they deal with burnout, and a part of it is they don't just train hard; they actually recover hard as well, and they're very intentional about it. The food that they're very, very meticulous about the food that they eat. They make sure that they eat as healthy as they possibly can. And healthy isn't what isn't what the freaking social media, most people think it is. They think healthy is eating a salad. No, if you just eat salads for the rest of your life, you're depriving yourself of an incredibly large amount of nutrients that your body needs. There's some of the most unhealthy people I know are vegans, and I'm like, they can't walk up a flight of stairs without gasping for air. I'm like, you guys are just as unhealthy as obese people, as far as I'm concerned. No, you need a diet that's loaded with nutrients, and you're gonna need to talk to a nutritionist about that, because everything starts with the food that you eat. But more importantly than that is they actively rest, not just their body. They purposely rest their brain as well. And in this day and age, I really want to talk about resting your brain, because in this day and age, we have so many distractions, because everything is on our phone. We have so many screens. We have computer screens. We have TV screens. We have laptops. We have tablets. Everywhere we go, there's another screen bombarding us. And part of active recovery is letting your brain rest. So I want to talk about your brain for a little bit, right? So your brain, the little pound of gray matter that's inside your skull, it's the same type of brain that our ancestors were using 50,000 years ago when they were in the jungles and they were hunters and gatherers. It's the same brain, right? Not very little has changed from then till now as far as our brain development is concerned. We've learned a few tricks along the way, but it's still the way it functions. It's still mostly the same. You have to understand, your brain is hooked up to trillions and trillions of sensors. Your eyes, your nose, your taste, smell, and then like all the nerve endings in your body. It's constantly looking for things. In the past, when we were moving around, we were hunting in the jungles, our brains were constantly scanning all around us, looking for a big shadow. So if it sees a big shadow, your brain decides one of two things. I'm either going to run really fast because that's probably a tiger, or I'm going to stand and kill whatever it is because it might be a boar that I can take back to my village that I can kill and we can eat it, right? And it's looking for those two things: a huge threat that can kill us, or a source of food that we can kill and eat, because that's how we survived. We ran away from predators and we killed animals that we can eat. That brain is the same brain that's inside our skulls right now. And so what does that have to do with active recovery? Well, in this day and age, where our food is taken care of, and we just go to the grocery store or a farmer's market or a butcher shop, and we just walk home with like a huge pile of meat in our hands, and there's no real threat. If you live in a questionable neighborhood, yeah, you've got a couple things to deal with, right? But most people don't live there. Most people live in like regular neighborhoods where they can walk down the block and they don't have to fear danger, right? Maybe I'll get hit by a car, who knows, right? But it's a lot different from a tiger hiding in the woods about to kill us, from a pack of wolves in the woods about to jump and maul us. So your brain is constantly still looking for those. And where's it gonna find that? It's gonna find that in here, in your phones. It's gonna find that on the TV screens. When you're watching a TV show, your brain is actually transplanted into that universe. When you're playing video games, your brain is transplanted into that universe. Your brain actually can't tell that what it's seeing on that screen is fake. Your brain actually thinks that it's real. So when it's in those video games, when it's in that TV series, when it's in that movie, if you're watching Lord of the Rings, your brain thinks you're in Middle Earth. It thinks you're next to Sam and Frodo on your way to Mordor to drop the ring to kill Sauron, right? Your brain actually thinks that that's real. So when it's like that, it's in hyper mode because it's constantly a code. Okay, cool. I'm on an adventure with these guys, and I'm looking for danger. So when something crazy happens on that screen, when there's a battle, your brain thinks, "Holy crap, I'm in a battle." Your heart starts pumping hard. That's why like you watch a scary movie, something crazy happens, your heart starts pounding. Or if you're watching a love movie with Matthew McConaughey, your love hormones get activated because it thinks that, holy crap, I'm in a love scene right now. When you're watching porn, your brain thinks, holy crap, that's a naked woman in front of me that I need to get erect because I'm about to bang her. Your brain can't tell what's real or fake on TV screens. It thinks it's real. So it's getting activated all the time. Now, back in the day, 50,000 years ago, your brain maybe got activated 2-3 times a day, every other day, maybe a week. So, and because that's all it required in order to survive. You weren't running into wolves every single day. No, most days you were just sitting around and you were bored and you probably were starving because you're looking for food. But nowadays, with TV shows, with Instagram Reels, with TikTok, with YouTube, like, your brain's getting activated 2 to 3 times per minute. It's not natural. It's not normal. So if your way of relaxing is going back home, sitting on a couch and watching Netflix, yeah, your body's resting, but your brain is being activated and it's getting turned on more, like, non-stop, always, one after another. That's not good for your brain. I've made a few videos where I tell people to get off the internet because what you see on the internet is fake. I stand by that. And I encounter a lot of pushback, and I 100% see the irony of a guy on YouTube telling you to get off the internet, right? And I encounter the pushback. People tell me like, why are you, like, who are you? Tell me, I'm like, I'm just a guy on the internet, Either take my advice or don't take my advice. It doesn't affect me. I these days I spend so little time on YouTube, and that's part of my active recovery. I go out of my ways to find ways to unstimulate my brain. I do what's called digital detoxes, where I just hop into my car, I turn my phone off, and I just go for a drive. And I drive to nowhere. I don't have a destination, or sometimes I do, and I'm like, I'm hungry. Sometimes I'll just hop on the highway and I'll end up in another city 3 hours away. Most of the time I stay local to Tampa, but I've found myself in Ocala before. I've found myself in Cape Coral, in Orlando before, just because I'm like, I'm just gonna drive and end up somewhere. And I found some really, really cool places and some really neat restaurants. Actually, I was in Sarasota last night and I just found this really neat little hole in the wall restaurant type of place, and it was really nice. It was like a travel inn, like the kind that you see in movies where you walk inside and they have like 5 rooms for rent, and it's like this nice little old lady who just rents it out, and she also has like a little like restaurant that she runs. It was a nice little band that was playing. It was so nice, and I find these things on accident, But yeah, that's part of my recovery process. I find ways to not stimulate my brain. Sometimes I would just sit here in my house and I would just turn everything off. Turn the lights off, turn the phones off, turn everything off. And I'm just going to sit here and just meditate. And I'm just going to let my thoughts be. And I don't try to control my thoughts. My thoughts come in and I let them be. And as soon as I'm done with that thought, I let it go. And some people will call that meditation. And I agree. That is a form of meditation. It may not work for you. Meditation doesn't work for a lot of people, but it 100% works for me and allows me to clear my mind. So I've worked really hard to build the life that I don't need a break from. I love my life. And I've worked very, very hard to build the life that I want to live, to surround myself with people. And it's not easy at all. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and tell you, yeah, you can get this within the next 3 months. No. I've gotten here through, after years of effort. I've paid a lot of money to a lot of coaches, to a lot of therapists. I have to see various forms of therapists to help my mind, to help my soul, to help my body. I see physical therapists. I see stress therapists. I see massage therapists. I see psychiatric therapists. I have a whole team of people outside of my circle of friends who help me and coach me in life, to help me, to help hold me accountable, to help me deal with things that normal people can't deal with. Because if you're feeling down and you're sad and you talk to your friends and they're also miserable, they're not going to help you. You need to find people with the right tool set to help you out. And that's going to be expensive. But you have to look at it this way. I can either not pay for professional help and professional services and be miserable and have pains and aches in my body, and my soul hurts, my brain hurts, or I could spend some money right now and live a higher quality of life that's going to allow me to achieve higher things. A lot of people have this backwards, where they say, like, I'm going to wait till I get into shape before I go to the gym. I've literally heard that. I don't want to go do CrossFit until I'm in better shape. Well, great. Are you jogging? Are you lifting weights at home? Are you doing push-ups? Are you walking up and down your stairs to build your leg muscles? Because if you don't do that, you're never going to be in shape, which means you're never going to go to the gym. What is your diet like? Why is that? Why do I see a box of KFC on your work desk, on your workstation? You're not going to be in shape. The people who are in shape, they're in shape because they go to the gym. They don't wait to get in shape and then go to the gym. That doesn't make sense. That's like putting your cart before the horse and expecting the cart to pull the horse. That's not how that works. So just like in life, I don't want to deal with burnout. You have to accept that you're going to deal with burnout, but you have to understand why you're burning out and what type of burnout it is. And then you have to work actively on building a life that changes your burnout from the bad type to the good type. The bad type is the one where you feel like you're miserable. The good type of burnout, which is the ones I get these days, are the ones where I say, yo, I just need a rest. I just need to take a few days off to just actively recover. In fact, I burned out a few weeks ago, and I told my partners, my guys at work, I'm like, yo, listen, I just need a few days off. I'll be right back in a few days. And they're like, cool, see you in a few days. I come back in a few days, I'm well, I'm rested, and I'm like, great, let's get to work, guys, and we do some great, amazing work together. So build yourself a lifestyle that you don't need a break from, and in that lifestyle, make sure you're actively recovering. Make sure you're taking time for yourself. Make sure you're not stimulating your brain. Yes, lie down, rest your body, take some salt baths, take some ice, do some ice plunges. I do those. They're miserable, but I do them anyway. Just because I know it's good for my body. Eat a good, healthy lifestyle. Eat good food. And get off the internet. Stop. If they delete your social media, don't go on Instagram. Don't spend hours just doom scrolling. Yes, doom scrolling is an actual thing. Because your brain needs to rest. It's constantly looking and scanning for danger. And if there's no danger, your brain is going to create danger out of nothing. It's going to create a problem out of nothing, because that's what the brain wants to do. Understand how your brain works. Matter of fact, I've got a really good book here. Hold on, let me pull it out for you guys. This book right here, The Brain, The Story of You by David Eagleman. It's one of the best books on the human brain that I've ever read. And I've read a lot of books, but this one breaks down your brain so well, and you understand just how your brain works, and you understand how your neurochemistry works. It's so good. It blows your mind. It's a really good book, and I highly recommend reading it to better understand. Because the better you understand your own brain and how it functions, the more you're gonna learn how to maximize it. All right. Build a life that you don't need to take a break from, and practice active recovery. Those are the two ways that I practice. Those are the two principles I use to stay positive, motivated, and deal with my own burnout. So if you guys made it this far in the video, I hope you guys got something out of this. Leave a like, comment below. Let me know how you guys deal with your own burnout in your day and age. Let me know how you guys practice. Let me know how you guys practice active recovery. Let me know how you guys have built a lifestyle for yourself. All right. Hope you guys found this useful, and hope you guys have a great rest of your day.